The gold medal comment today is from Alan Medrano, and it is a two-pager beast. I came to your channel after seeing Wood's depression video. I'm not a fan of Woods in the least. He always just popped up, annoyingly I might add, on my suggestions with his excitable thumbnails. When I saw the thumbnail for his depression video, it threw me off. He wasn't happy or annoyingly excited. He was sad. I watched the depression video and heard the claims he was making. I felt disgusted at what I was hearing. Someone threatened his well-being? Or his wife's? I am all up for criticism or even just flat out not liking someone. But to make threats of harming someone or someone's family, that's just low. I researched what happened and who was making these threats, and a lot of the roads led to your channel, obviously. I watched your videos explaining that it wasn't you, and just from one video I realized that you have morals and like me would never threaten someone with actual violence. The more I watch your videos, the more I realize that your channel is, just as you state, satire. I believe this type of content that actually has value, content that creates conversations, that broadens people's perspectives, that makes people engage with you and with each other. And that's how I came in contact with your channel and why I said I thank Wood for bringing me here. I knew e-begging existed, but since I normally don't follow any of these YouTubers you mention on your channel, I never knew how bad of a problem it was. I find it fascinating that grown men, even older than myself, act like children to get video games for free. I don't have a problem with collections or collectors. I think the issue is that these people use this platform to beg. In one of your videos, you did some math roughly calculating how much Metal Jesus makes in a month, and it was about 10K, roughly translating to about 120,000 a year. That is more than an average household makes in a year, yet they feel the need to beg for more. It just makes me sick. I don't see them selling their collections if they found themselves in a financial crisis. Like I said in my other comment, I see them making a video with a clickbait thumbnail with some help sort of title, and people would flock to their aid. There's nothing wrong with their fans helping if they're fans of their channels is because they somehow enjoy the content, but it just goes to show you just one of the many things wrong with the world today. And to end this really long comment, I know that collecting CDs is probably a futile effort at this point with big retailers not even selling them anymore, but collecting them just reminds me of a time where music wasn't as accessible as it is now. Music felt more meaningful. It was a very special feeling purchasing a CD from the record store and popping it in your Walkman and listening to those songs over and over again. With all the music ever made at our fingertips, what makes any of it special anymore? That's my problem with apps like Spotify. I still listen to some of the same albums that I've listened to for like 15 years now because music is meaningful to me. I see kids nowadays only listening to the new hits. They now move on. There's no connection between the artist and the listeners anymore. Maybe I just perceive it that way because things aren't the same way as they were 10 years ago. The new ways of listening to music are killing the old, not only because of the way we purchase music, but of how we connect to it. More isn't always better. Sometimes it's just more. I think the last paragraph that you said, a lot of that is true. Music is highly accessible, okay? And that's a good thing. But with there being such an oversaturation and music being highly accessible and having literally almost everything at your fingertips, you can look over some of the more meaningful music. Whereas before, everything was different. You know, you went to a record store, you looked at the covers, there's a lot more that you kind of saw there and you agonized over like certain things. Nowadays, it's all just right there. And people will overlook a lot of great albums, now just because, a lot of it just kind of like bleeds in together. And also like industries, things going on with mumble rap now. There's a lot of great music out there, but, when you're seeing all these mumble rappers like 21 Savage out here, and that's what's getting airplay on the radios, it's just, you're force-fed that kind of stuff. Same thing happens on YouTube, Now, I don't think I have one of the best channels on YouTube, but, I think it's a lot different than a lot of other channels. I think people can tell that there's genuineness here, there's devotion. Like I said, I've put a lot into this channel, but this is just kind of a blip. Why it is? because I don't go out here trying to, create the craziest clickbait thumbnails. I don't do all the same things as the other YouTubers desperately just trying to get attention on the platform. So there's an oversaturation in the music industry, and there's also oversaturation on YouTube. It's a sad thing that people like you, sometimes people like you are here just because of happenstance, just because you happen to, click on a Wood video and it directed you here. So, like I said, back when that happened, it's really sad that a lot of people were directed here, confusing me with this other individual. But I'm glad people like you were actually, directed here, because I, unlike a lot of these other YouTubers, I actually value, your comments, and I value, the interactions I have with all the people on my channel. Unlike many of the YouTubers, I think, in that respect, I think I do that very well. So like I said, I mean, there's a lot of things I admittedly can improve on the channel. Every day I think about, things that I could do a little better. But that is one thing I'll pat myself on the back for, which is how I, what I put into interactions and, getting to know a lot of you in the comment section, because, to me, that's very special. What else do I want to see? I got 2 pages here, Alan. 2 pages of this comment. You said you knew that e-begging existed, but you don't follow a lot of these YouTubers. You mentioned your channel. You never knew how bad of a problem it was. Yeah, it's a big problem. People wonder why I focus on it, like, because it needs some focus. It needs constant focus, not just for me, but many other people. You said you calculated how much Metal Jesus makes in a month, and it was about 10K. And your problem not being that he makes that. Okay, the misconception is people will come here and they will act like I and other people are jealous because of how much a person makes a year. Okay, if that was the case, wouldn't people just have videos talking about all different kind of people? Wouldn't I have a video complaining about how much the doctor that operated on me last year makes a year? Wouldn't I have that video up? That's the weird thing, is like these people are just like tone deaf. And they spread this narrative through their little Facebook groups that, oh, this person is just jealous because of what we make. Or they're just jealous of the game collection. I had one comment that I held on to. Gosh, I can't find it. But it was somebody left a comment like, why are you so jealous? Is it because your game collection is not as big as, Metal Jesus? My game collection is huge in the instance of like what time I have to play things. So that's the thing. Believe it or not, me and a lot of you are not jealous of a lot of people's plastic and cardboard. Okay? What gets us mad, gets us riled up, is when these same people who have huge collections, who make all this money on YouTube, when they hold their hands out to their own fans and beg for money. That's the thing. That's the thing. Okay? That's what's out of control here. So as long as that continues to happen, I will continue to have critical satire videos based on this stuff.